No one has more state pride than New Mexicans. The vibrant culture, bold flavors, unique history, and dramatic landscapes under our Zia sun are like no other. And the people of New Mexico are a rare breed. As diverse as we are, together we breathe life and soul into this high desert land, a land that promises adventure. I'm Michael Newman, and as your host, I'll be taking you with me as I seek out the best the land of enchantment has to offer.
New Mexico, it feels like home to me. It feels so true. It's time well spent when I spend it with you.
Thanks for watching another episode of New Mexico True Television. I'm your host, Michael Newman. In this episode, we're showing you all the places you can find water in the desert. From rivers for fishing, lakes for boating, and hot springs for soaking, we get our H2O fix all around the state. One of the best places in the whole country for fly fishing is right here in our own backyard. Right outside of Farmington and just below the Navajo Dam, the quality waters of the San Juan River promise a great day on the water. I had to float and fish to meet up with my local guide, TJ Massey, who will be showing me the ropes today and to get my one-day fishing license, and proper attire for a day on the San Juan. Morning. Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing well. Morning.
Good. Good.
How you doing?
Are you TJ?
I am TJ.
TJ. Michael, nice to meet you. I hear you're the man to teach me how to fly fish
I
today.
don't know about that. I might be able to show you a few things.
Okay.
First, you'll need a fishing license. And then
So I got to get my waders on and all that?
get your waders. You need some waders, boots, hat, glasses to protect your eyes from the flies flying around, and we're good to go.
All right. So let me jump into that now.
Now to get you set up, it's right over here.
All right. I'm doing it standing up.
You could guide after being able to do that little maneuver.
Yeah. Hey, that's a big step. All right. Feels good. Got my waders on. Got my wading belt on. My hat. Sunglasses. All right. How do I look? Think I'm good to go? Time to go fishing. And we're off. On the short drive to our launch point, I learned that this stretch of 4.25 miles of river are teeming with over 80,000 trout. Rainbow, brown, and cutthroat. TJ also schools me on the rules of the river. Most importantly, we will be fishing catch and release. And before I knew it, we had arrived at the Texas Hole, a popular launch point for those of us floating the quality waters.
Let's go catch some fish, Michael.
Let's do it.
All right. Pretty place, huh? It's amazing. I mean, day in and day out, it produces some of the best trout fishing in the country. And it's 365 days a year you can fish here. There's not many places you can do that. Definitely a little jewel here in the middle of the desert. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna rig you up, okay?
Now, rigging up means setting up.
Yeah, setting up, and we'll go from the fly line down. So this is what the fly fishing gear looks like. You have your reel, the rod. This line right here is a fly line, and it's a floating line.
TJ walks me through the steps in getting things rigged up. And from what I can tell, rigging takes attention to detail and quick and nimble movements. TJ's years of experience make it a quick process.
So those are the two flies you're gonna fish.
Okay.
This is the midge larva, and this is your beta nymph. Okay, two different cycles of bugs that are coming off from under the rocks right now.
You kind of have to be a biologist when you fly fishing too.
Yeah, there's just years of watching it happen.
It's really a science, and that's the thing that makes fly fishing so appealing for people. It's like a challenge, it's a process.
Yeah.
Just throw a line out and that's it. It's this gradual evolving
fly
process.
fishing keeps a lot of people's interest because when you're not catching fish, you're doing something to solve why you're not catching fish. So you're always moving or thinking or changing your flies, or there's a lot to it. So what we'll do now is if you want to hop up in the front there, I'm going to give you a little casting demo here, and then we can get going. So your cast is going to look like this. Your fly line is in your left hand, rod's in your right, okay? The only time you want to let line out is on your forward cast.
Okay. With TJ's instruction, I was ready to cast. And before long, I started to get the hang of it.
Come behind you a little more with the rod. That's good. One more.
We continued to float down the river to a spot where TJ thought the fish would be biting. Again, the benefits of a guide who knows the river.
There, set. Now just stay tight. If he comes to you, that's a big one. Now if he runs, let line out. That's a good fish. Do me a favor. Take a little more line in. Reel in. Got him. Woo. Beauty. A Butte. That is a nice fish, my friend. Look at that. Beauty.
Oh, look at
Nice,
that.
huh? Give him a kiss.
Oh,
Oh,
I did it.
I was joking.
Oh.
Beautiful fish. Let's swim him. You want to swim him out? You can just hold the net and let him swim out, or grab his tail. Make sure he's pumping a little bit.
Here we go.
Well done. Well done, buddy.
Well done. Thank you.
Now it's easy, right?
I have a feeling you talked to the fish before I came and let them know.
I planted that one there just for you.
But catching fish is not the only highlight. Just being able to cruise down the San Juan is a good way to spend the day.
A lot of people dream of doing something like this, and I just kind of fell into it. Fished this from when I was 8 years old. Started guiding when I was 18. 38 now.
Still doing it.
Still doing it.
Not a bad way to make a living. I almost started to envy TJ a little. Days on the river, I could get used to this.
Mama goose. It's pretty. Another one. Look at the other one down there with their head sticking up. I mean, that's like prime real estate. An island, no predators.
We made our way down the river so I could take on my next challenge.
All right, we'll go down here and pull in on the left, and we'll try doing some wade fishing.
This is a different kind of feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Wade fishing is a different experience from doing just the float.
See that? Your timing is real good. One more. Best thing about this is that when you do this, you need to be focused on this. You can't think about some of the other things in life that get you down, or this should take a lot of your concentration. So that's one thing. And then just usually when you're fly fishing too, you're with people that you want to be with. You want to hang out, your buddies, your family members, or it's a great part about it. Just being outside, being outdoors. Got one. Got it. That's right. Give you some competition. Oh, no.
But hey, you know, it's about the sport.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to let him go anyway. Think I'm okay. That was big. That was big too, Michael. Much bigger than anything you've caught, I think.
TJ was a great guide. By the end of the day, I caught 4 fish, and now I have a whole new love for fly fishing and this beautiful part of our state. It's going to be hard to say goodbye to the San Juan. I'll need to make it back this way soon. Here are some things to keep in mind for your trip to the San Juan River. This stretch of river is less than 40 miles from Farmington, just east of town. Don't forget to obtain a fishing license before you get out on the water. If you're new to the quality waters, fishing with a guide is a great way to learn the fishing holes and the special regulations of the area. Coming up, we discover a pristine lake set among the pines of northern New Mexico. Find steals and deals for your next New Mexico vacation at newmexico.org. And now from the pages of New Mexico Magazine. Heron Lake is just 10 miles south of the town of Chama and sits nestled amidst the ponderosa pines of the Chama Valley. This reservoir has been designated as a no-wake or quiet lake, which means that while motorboats are allowed, they may only move at trolling speeds so as not to create a wake on the lake. This makes for a peaceful experience, and for me, the serene nature of this quiet lake beckons to be experienced by kayak. Getting an early start, the water looks like glass, and I'm able to have the lake all to myself. Panoramic views of the Pine Bluffs and Brazos Cliffs in the distance make a great backdrop for my meditative rowing exercise. I'd had just enough time to get lost in my thoughts and do a bit of daydreaming when I run into some other kayakers out on the water. With my newfound friends, I start paddling towards the cliff face near the dam. No sooner do we reach the rocky wall than we are engulfed by the sounds of the swallows flying overhead. It is truly spectacular and just one more enchanting element of Heron Lake. While the waters are calm now, this lake is known for its great summer breezes that bring windsurfing and sailing aficionados to its shores. In fact, Heron is the home base for the New Mexico Catamaran Club, and more often than not, you'll spot them cutting through the water flying hull on their Hobie Cats. There's nothing like seeing a bunch of colorful sails speckled against this landscape. But I have to say, for now, I'm happy to have these waters all to myself. And as magnificent as Heron Lake is, it's not the only attraction at this state park. There's some great hiking to be had here as well. And now that I've had my upper body workout, it's time to stretch my legs and hit the trail. So I head to the Rio Chama trailhead. This 5-mile primitive trail actually connects Heron Lake State Park to neighboring El Vado Lake State Park. And as tempting as it is to follow the length of the trail to El Vado Lake, I'm in this for the dramatic views and getting to the suspension bridge this trail is known for. Suspension bridges like this are great. You feel like you are truly bounding across the bridge and over the Rio Chama no less. Heron Lake State Park does not disappoint. When you're ready to hit the water, here's some tips for Heron Lake State Park. Heron Lake is just 20 miles south of the town of Chama and just under 2 hours north of Santa Fe. Camping, hiking, fishing, and sailing are among the many activities you may enjoy at Heron Lake. And keep in mind, Heron Reservoir is a designated quiet lake where motorboats may operate at no more than a trolling speed. For more great stories like this from New Mexico Magazine, visit newmexico.org. Stay tuned for a dip in some healing waters, where the only consequence is some serious R&R. Sign up to receive monthly newsletters about events and happenings around the state at newmexico.org. Truth or Consequences, also known as T or C, is a funky little town neighboring Elephant Butte in the south central part of our state. Many people may be drawn to T or C for its unique and legendary name, but for those in the know, they come for the healing hot springs. These pristine thermal waters are central to this area's history. Before the motorists of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s flocked to the resorts of town, the Apaches frequented these waters and deemed it a sacred and spiritual place. Today, there is a wide range of hotels, motor courts, and spas that offer a variety of soaking experiences. And a TRC local, Monica, is going to give me the full tour. So Monica, we're here in TRC, formerly known as Hot Springs.
Yes.
Okay, so that must mean one thing. There's hot springs here, right?
There are indeed hot springs here. You got that part right.
Yeah, so tell me about this historical hot spring district.
Well, this actually used to all be swampland before they put in the Elephant Butte Dam. So
Okay.
when they dammed up the Rio Grande, they sort of dried out this river basin, and that made some of the hot springs sort of easier to access. It wasn't just a warm part of the river anymore. It became a place where you could just tap down and out came the water. So
Wow, oh, I like that. So we're at our first stop, and tell me about where we are.
we are at the first place that I stayed when I first came to TRC about 15 years ago. Riverbend Hot Springs used to be Riverbend Hostel. I came here and I just fell in love with this place.
I mean, even from the outside, the color, you know, they got the teepee out front.
After you?
Oh, after you. So what makes this place so special?
Well, it's on the river for starters.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
of course.
No one else has a place on the river like this.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
The view.
The view, really, yeah. And they get the river gets a lot higher in the summer, so you can see people floating down. And
So is this like a normal thing that people do? You know, they come to places like Riverbend and soak the locals here?
yeah, I mean, the locals will come here. You can come by the hour. But this thing special about this place, I think, is the kind of attention they've given it. There's so many grounds and gardens.
Yeah, and the art here too is really, really magnificent. You cannot get a better setting for hot springs than along the banks of the Rio Grande. If this is how my tour starts, I'm anxious to see what else Monica has in store. So the next one we're at is Indian Springs,
Yeah.
which brings me to an interesting point of history. people used to come here to soak in the springs, like Native Americans back in the day, right?
Yeah, this was considered kind of like the Switzerland of the Southwest. I mean, you couldn't really bear arms here. This wasn't where you came to have any kind of conflict or war. In fact, this is where you came to resolve it in a nonviolent way. So you could not bring your weapons or cause any harm to someone else. But you also could not count coup. I don't know if you know what counting coup
No,
is.
what is? I've heard that, but I don't know what that term means.
Well, in Western tribes, they count coup when they come in and there's a conflict between two warring tribes, and they don't only take it like all to blows. There's one like a battle of wits where if you wake up and a person in the opposing tribe is touching your face and then they're gone like that, basically they're saying, I could have killed you, but I didn't.
Oh, that's tricky.
So it's like, I am the better warrior, but also I'm more compassionate and I spared your life because
Wow.
I'd rather like work it out. It's just a place to come to soak and resolve conflict or just heal and be.
I love that.
Yeah, peaceful place.
Our next stop is Heyoke, one of the oldest operating bathhouses in town that still has natural flowing water, meaning it is not pumped in. You can find something for everyone.
Totally.
You know, you have the college kids who are like, yo, I just want to float and have a party. You have the more ritzy, older folks that come in.
Mature audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll enjoy Riverbend. But,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's funny in town. You pretty much can ask somebody, where do you like to soak? And it says a lot about them.
Yeah.
You learn something about people.
Another property providing a beautiful setting for soaking is Blackstone. A quiet and colorful courtyard greets you as soon as you walk on site, and their soaking pool is the perfect hybrid of rustic and luxurious. But now we're headed for one of Monica's favorite spots. La Paloma is enchanting from the minute you walk into the courtyard, and the waters here are unique as well. Cindy explains why.
I love the water. I came here for the water. And there's only 2 natural flow bathhouses left here, which means we don't pump or pipe it. And the fun thing about that is science has finally met nature here and crossed those boundaries. And the physicists call this structured water, which sounds backwards.
Yeah.
But structured water can actually have an energy that's measurable, and they can quantify that number and give it to us in addition to the minerals that are in the water.
There's just this feeling here, when you think about it from outside perspective, and you're like, what isn't truth or consequence, other than truth or consequences.
Well, what I can tell you is it's a lot of fun for people when they come here to see if they can feel the difference in the natural flow, true artesian water and the pumped water. And apparently people can, because we hear lots of things about it.
In a guidebook that I read, when I was getting ready to come to Truth or Consequences for the first time, the quote that I'll never forget was, don't come to Truth or Consequences expecting a spiritual experience, but don't be surprised if you have one.
It's like, oh, okay, fine. I love that. This was sacred, peaceful land where people came and bathed themselves and replenished.
People are coming for health reasons, for emotional support, for the spiritual aspects.
Yeah, I'm a believer at this point. You guys have convinced me fully.
All right, shall I show you the baths?
Okay, let's see the baths.
All right.
Oh yeah, this looks so good. There's no pump in here. This is the real deal. Monica's not the only fan of this place. We met a couple in the courtyard who hold a special place in their hearts for La Paloma.
This is probably our 3rd visit here at La Paloma, and we visited some other nice places here in Tier C, but we really fell in love with this place. So yesterday I proposed and she accepted, and this was the place we did it. I love you, babe.
I love you too.
Monica was right. There is something magical about this place.
It's like being on a retreat. Nice, peaceful, relaxing. You forget about everything else that's happening around you. It's just great. We love it. And that's why we came out here.
It's not going to be easy to get out of this hammock, but we have one more stop on this tour that Monica has promised will be worth it. Beyond soaking, the Sierra Grande is a magnificent property for a weekend getaway. Spa treatments, simple but luxurious rooms, and beautiful grounds make this a true oasis in the Chihuahua Desert. This is what we've been waiting for, right?
Totally the place. Thanks.
Cool. Oh, this is gorgeous.
I know. I told you you'd love it.
This is quite luxurious, like you said. Oh man. With the infinity pool.
I know, it goes right over the edge.
Wow. I mean, you were not lying.
Stars at night.
You were not lying. Every spot has been so different.
I know, everything has a totally different vibe. This is why you can really read a person based on where they like to soak.
Thank you so much for showing us around the
Oh,
town.
it's been my pleasure. I mean, I love this little town. I'm glad you guys have taken an interest. You want to come see it, you know?
Yeah. I think, you know, a lot of people just knew about little small section of TRC, but I think being able to see all the different parts of it, and especially all the different types of springs, that's that's been really cool for me, because, you know, people usually just go to one spot.
Exactly. I mean, if you're staying in that spot, that's where you're going to soak, but there's really kind of something for every kind of person here. So, yeah, you got to come back and find your favorite place.
Yeah.
Stay there.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a close call. There's a lot of good ones.
Right?
There really is something for everyone here in TRC. Now that I've spent some time here, I'm counting the days until I may return. Before you go to soak, here's some tips. Truth or Consequences is 2 hours south of Albuquerque and only an hour north of Las Cruces on I-25. These are hot springs. Temperatures range from 98 to 115 degrees, so be sure to stay hydrated while you soak. Depending on where you visit in the hot springs district, you can soak by the half hour, or better yet, stay overnight. Elephant Butte is our state's largest lake and is the ultimate playground for water enthusiasts. Created by the construction of Elephant Butte Dam in 1916, this lake has been a welcoming retreat for decades. You can find people lounging or playing on the shores, as well as cruising through the water by kayak, jet skis, sailboats, and more. And many people come for what is under the water. Fishing is a favorite pastime for many people frequenting the lake. Bass, walleyes, and stripers are among the many varieties you'll reel in from these waters. But the fun is not limited to water activities. Elephant Butte State Park has as much to do on land as on the waves. Pack a picnic lunch, or better yet, stay long enough for a hike and wildlife viewing or camping. The city of Elephant Butte, with its 5-star golf course Sierra del Rio, has also become a mecca for golfers. This course offers 18 holes, a driving range, sports shop, and bar and full-service restaurant. This is a great travel destination for people with any range of interests. Bring the kids, grab your friends, but get on over here because the water is calling. And now from our Cabinet Secretary of Tourism, Monique Jacobson, here is another New Mexico true treasure.
We have many high-end hot springs and spas here in New Mexico, but sometimes my family and I like something more rustic. And at those times, we head to the Montezuma Hot Springs outside of Las Vegas. Part of the beauty here is that the springs are so close you can drive up, hop out of your car, and into the hot water. The other part of the beauty here is, well, the beauty. The setting is gorgeous, with the surrounding landscape and a view of the historic Montezuma Castle. The castle is on the campus of the United World College, and it's not open to visitors. But the college does offer the unique Dwan Light Sanctuary for quiet reflection amid the many rainbows cast by sunlight through prisms. The hot springs are good for a soak. The sanctuary is good for the soul. So the only thing missing is something good for your stomach. And you'll fill that void by picking up some donuts at Charlie's Spick and Span Cafe in Las Vegas. Spending a full day with a family trip to Montezuma Hot Springs is one of the many New Mexico true treasures. You can get information and ideas for great day trips all around the state at newmexico.org.
So as you can see, there's no shortage of watering holes around our state. All you have to do is find them. And with that being said, what are you doing next weekend?